So here we go. With the soul work, one of the first things that I want to share is a mindset shift. I've talked a lot about understanding the feminine mind and where it's coming from, and it actually does think differently than we do when we're in our masculine mindset. So one of the first and foremost perspectives that I want to share with you is that the feminine mind really thinks and believes not that it's in control as we do in more of a masculine mindset, like we are charged with and we are responsible, me, myself, and I need to make this happen. And what can I do? How can I pull it together, right? That is how the mind evaluates and processes. That is very much more so oriented with a masculine mindset. So the first piece that helped me really start to break down and understand what a feminine mindset is all about was understanding at a very core and fundamental level that we are energy. We are not just humans here having a soulful experience every time that we carve out enough time in our day to do the self-care, to go in and nurture our soul, but we are actually souls that have shown up here on this planet with a very specific purpose in mind. And that purpose is to live at the cutting edge of consciousness, to allow for the energy that we experience as humans to manifest itself through each of us as individuals. And you as an influencer, the fact that you've been called to this program tells me that you thrive on being at that cutting edge of consciousness, that cutting edge of what the essence of energy that chose to manifest itself in your form and came here to planet Earth to make that happen. You know, all of that coming together and coalescing into a perfect and synchronistic event to allow you to be born and allow for this consciousness to continue to unveil itself. The issue is that part of the human experience that we as souls get to have involves forgetting that we have this consciousness, that we came from this universal space that is infinite and all-knowing. And in the process of dropping down into a more physical and dense form of the human mind and the human body, we learn to create our reality, right? But in creating this reality, what begins to happen as we age, and kind of pretty much from age 7 on, we take on more adult thinking patterns or more dense thinking patterns, is that our soul ultimately loses sight of just how connected we are. And we begin to think of ourselves in a more structured human context than we did as an energetic, soulful context. Here's why this matters. Because ultimately, the wobbles you experience in your life when you feel exhausted, burned out, everything, when you know you're dealing with a total calamity, right? And you've got a phase in your life to get through. Ultimately, it's happening because we've disassociated and forgotten the essence of who we are. And we've lost track of that energy that ultimately is trying to be here and express itself through you. So we get to, in this program, remember, reattach that energy to us, essentially pull it. It's like we've taken it and we've set it on a shelf. We get to pull it off the shelf, reclaim it, and begin to use that as our central attracting force. Ultimately, it's never left. And you probably see elements of what this soul energy is doing and been up to all along. And ultimately, the calamities you've experienced have been there to route you back to being able to reclaim that essence of who you are. But what we get to do in this program today is really get down to the nuts and bolts of what your consciousness is up to, who you are as a soul, and why you came here, what it is you're wanting to seek and create and produce and put out into the world. Because it's this essence that attracts, magnetizes, and allows for you to influence and draw in the support and the resources we all need to feel fulfilled, successful, happy, and like we've done it. Like we are complete and total badasses. So that being said, taking the perspective that you are a soul here to have a human experience, will hopefully empower you to begin to look for the ways in which your soul is interacting in your life. Not so much the human part of you who typically is looking for those goals and those objectives and everything else, but the soul that is looking to experience the richness and the quality and the depth in the dimension of what it means to be human. That's where I'm going to leave you for this video. In the next video, we will dive into even deeper perspective on the feminine mind. See you there.